For this project, we're going to use this yarn called Alize Diva Stretch. This is an elastic yarn and it's really a great material to use for projects such as bikini tops, bikini bottoms, crochet tops, especially if you're planning to go with it on the water. So I highly recommend that you use this one or other similar yarns for those types of projects. We will also use a 3.5mm crochet hook as well as a 3mm crochet hook. And if you are new to this channel, hi, my name is Kat and I do crochet tutorials. You can follow me on Instagram as well as my Facebook page at What About Yarn. And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. So we're going to start this project with a magic ring. And into the magic ring, we're going to work 12 single crochet. And by the way, I'm using a 3mm crochet hook for the squares of our band. Once you have 12 single crochet, we're going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet that you just did. And after that, we're going to chain 3. Chain 3 here counts as 1 double crochet. And into that same stitch, we're going to work another double crochet. Now on the next stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochet. And 2 double crochet as well for each of the remaining stitches. At the very end, pull the tail to secure the ring and slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning chains that you just did. After this, we're going to do a chain of 3, and chain 3 here counts as 1 double crochet again, and on that same stitch, we're going to work another double crochet. After that, we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and on the next stitch, we will work 2 double crochet. Now this will be the pattern that you will repeat for the rest of the stitches. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, 2 double crochet into the next stitch. Repeat that and meet me back later when you're done. At the very end of this round, we're going to slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning chains. After this, we will slip stitch twice until we reach the chain 1 gap in this part. So slip stitch and another slip stitch. And from here, we will begin the last row of our square. So chain 3. Chain 3 here counts as 1 double crochet, and back into that chain 1 gap, we're going to work 2 double crochet. So 1 and 2. Chain 2. And again, back into that chain 1 gap, we will work 3 double crochet. So that is our first corner. Now on the next chain 1 gap, we will work again another 3 double crochet. Like so. And again on the next chain 1 gap, another 3 double crochet. Now from here, we will start with our second corner. So we will repeat the same pattern. 3 double crochet into that chain 1 gap. Chain 2. And again, 3 double crochet back into that chain 1 gap. So we now have our first corner of the square. Now from here, we will repeat the same pattern. 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet, and then you will repeat the corner. 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet, repeat the corner. 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet, and at the very end we're going to slip stitch into the third chain of our beginning 3 chains. So do that and meet me back later when you're done with this part. At the very end, we're going to slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning chains. Fasten off and cut the yarn. You may want to weave in your ends for this part as well, but that is optional. Now once you have this, you're going to work several squares and later we're going to connect it with each other. Now in my case, I did about 26 squares in total, but I will show you later how we're going to do this. So you're going to make a square that is long enough to go for your underbust. So for example, in my case, I'm going to do 13 for the lower squares and another 13 for the upper squares. So that makes it 26 in total. And once you have all that, we're going to use a yarn needle to connect all of them. But if you prefer, you can use as well a single crochet or a different technique to connect all the squares together. We're also going to connect both of the edges together to form a band for our underbust. Once you're done, we're going to start working with the border in the upper part and the lower part of the band. So join the yarn in any of the stitches. And we're just going to work a single crochet for each of the stitches. At the very end, slip stitch into the first single crochet. Now chain 1 and single crochet in every stitch. So we will have 2 rows or 2 rounds of single crochet for the upper and lower border. From here, you will repeat the same thing for the other side as well. Now for the bra cup, we're going to use a 3.5mm crochet hook and we're going to work with 2 strands of the Alize Diva Stretch. So let's start with a slip knot and then we're going to chain a chain of 20. Once you have 20 chains, we're going to work an extra 2 chains. This is just to build up the yarn. From here, we're going to work a half double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. After that, we're also going to work a half double crochet for each of the chains across. So I have here about 20 half double crochet stitches. Now from here, we will start working on the increases. So on the last stitch, on the last half double crochet, we're going to work 1 half double crochet, 1 chain, and another half double crochet into that same stitch, into the very last stitch. So from here, we will be working on the opposite side of our work. So half double crochet into the next stitch at the opposite side. Like so. So from here, we will just work 1 half double crochet for each of the stitches until you get to the very end of the row. So here is a tip that I could give for you, especially for the beginner crocheters. I suggest that you use a stitch marker and place it here in the middle part or the center, chain 1 space. Because later when we turn for row 2, it will be a little bit difficult for you to find the center chain 1 space in the upper part. So let's continue with the stitches. So at the very end, we're going to turn our work, and we're not going to do a turning chains. So directly on the next stitch or on the first stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet. And continue with a half double crochet as well for every stitch until you get to the center stitch marker or the center chain 1 space. Once you get to the center chain 1 space, we're going to work our increases there. So that is a half double crochet, chain 1, and half double crochet all in that same chain 1 space. So don't forget to place back your stitch marker as well into the chain 1 space so that later it will not be difficult for you. So from here, you're just going to continue working a half double crochet in every stitch. So that marks the end of this round. Now, on the next rounds, you're just going to repeat exactly the same pattern as you did for round 2. Or row 2. So half double crochet and work your increases into the center chain 1 space, and then continue working the half double crochet at the other side. Repeat that until your cup is enough to cover your entire breast. So do that and meet me back later when you're done. So here is my finished cup, and I did about 14 rows of half double crochet, and I also did my second cup as well. So once you have both of your cups, we're going to attach it to our band. And in my case, I'm going to work on the 3 squares in the bottom. So for this, I'm going to use a stitch marker and I'm going to place it into the last stitch of the 3rd square. Don't forget to turn the band inside out as well. Now do the same thing for the other cup. As you can see, I already did my other strap so that you don't have to watch me do this. And if you can remember, if you've watched my previous tutorials, this is the same strap that I use for the Easy Like Sunday bikini bottom and the bikini top. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to attach the yarn into the center chain 1 space in the upper part of the cup, like so. And you're going to chain 3, and this chain 3 is going to count as 1 double crochet. Now back into that center chain 1 space, you will work 2 double crochet. Like so. Now chain 1. And again, back into that center chain 1 space, we will work 3 double crochet. Now turn your work, and then we will slip stitch into the chain 1 space that we just created in the middle part right here. So slip stitch. And this will just be the pattern that you will keep on repeating for the rest of the rows. So chain 3, 2 double crochet into the center chain 1 space. Chain 1. And again 3 double crochet into the center chain 1 space. So just keep on repeating this pattern until your strap is long enough to reach all the way to your shoulders and through your back. So do that and meet me back later when you're done with this part. So here I did about 27 rows of the clusters for my strap. And don't forget to turn and slip stitch into the chain 1 space as well before you start working the join into the back part of the band. So I'm going to join this into the stitch between the 3rd and my 2nd square. And to be able to do that, I'm just going to connect it with 3 single crochets. Now all that's left to do now is to weave in your ends and basically you're done. So friends, that marks the end of this tutorial. I really hope that you will enjoy making this top, and if you do, please don't forget to tag me on social media at whataboutYarn. I would really appreciate it. If you have any comments or suggestions or other questions, please write them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I will see you on the next video.